Welcome. We are back with some Dynasty Cornerstone tight ends. We have 4 of them here for you. Yeah, you clap away. Clap, 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 clap. The limit on age we're going to do with these Cornerstone tight ends is 24 and younger. So 25 and older. Well, which is tough because like a Mark Andrews deserves to be a part of this list, but he won't be a part of this list because I'm taking these young, almost cornerstone tight ends that, in this case, I know, buddy. Really, there's 3. I added a 4th. We may have to do a short timeout. Well, we took a short timeout. No Jackson the rest of this video. He was just not happening. I think it's getting close to nap time. But we have DeAndre Swift signed free jersey. All you have to do is be subscribed for a chance to win. And when we get to 2K, we're going to be giving away to one of you guys. It is 4-3. So let's go through the 4 tight end cornerstone rankings. And I'll explain myself here while I go through it. But Kyle Pitts is number 1. He is 21 years young. He is basically a wide receiver, 6'6", 246 pounds, 110 targets, 68 receptions, which is not great off the target share, but really good targets there. 1,026 yards, and the biggest red flag, and that might actually, red flag is actually the biggest weird number is 1 touchdown receiving. And so that number, positive regression, is going to happen. You have 110 targets and 1 touchdown versus Tanyan, who had like 55. It was like 50, maybe 9 targets, 55 catches, and like 10 touchdowns, whatever it was. Like, that is an anomaly. Kyle Pitts will have at least 5 touchdowns next year, in my opinion. And if it doesn't, then again, you bank on year 3, because year 3 it's going to be an explosion. Because he's not even Julio would get more touchdowns than 1. I mean, you get 110 targets as a tight end / wide receiver, and you're going to dominate. Kyle Pitts is shot up through my boards in Dynasty rankings. I think I have him too low. Actually, let me go to that right now. So my Dynasty rankings will be on Patreon here soon. If you want to support it, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But he is number 8 overall. He is tight end 1. And it's because he's so young, so elite. Number 6 tight end in PPR, number 8 in standard, and that is his rookie year. I can only see great things in his future. Matt Ryan didn't have a great year, and Calvin Ridley was basically not there to take some of that load away from him. So it was Russell Gage and Olamide Zacchaeus. And so you had that issue where basically it was just Kyle Pitts. And I think having some coverage taken away from him will help. There's always that crutch argument where it's like, well, you have more mouths to feed, but you have less coverage constantly focusing on you. So maybe it flattens out a little bit, but again, if you tell me 2022 that he has the exact same reception, 68, with 1,026 yards and 6 touchdowns, it's a whole different story. And again, he'll be a top 3 tight end in 2022. All right, number 2, TJ Hawkinson. This is pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. 6'5", 248. He was 16th in tight end standard, 15th in PPR. He only played 12 games, so he missed 5 games. He missed, you could say, a third of the season. Had 583 yards, had 4 touchdowns. Those were all fine. I mean, if you looked at some of his games, he started off so well. 8 for 97 and a touchdown, 8 for 66 and a touchdown. Then he had 2 for 10, 4 for 42, 2 for 22, and you started getting worried. And then he went 8 for 74, 6 for 48, 10 for 89, 6 for 51, 3 for 35, 4 for 49. Had a couple touchdowns mixed in there. You give him another third of the season, and you're talking probably 800 yards and 6-7 touchdowns. He'll be a top. I think he'll be in that tight end like 4 to 6 range next year, and that's where I think he'll be. He'll be behind Kittle. He'll be behind Pitts, Andrews, Kelsey. So he'll be 5. He'll be 5-ish. There might be some Waller lovers, and there might be some other people that might surprise you that move up there. If Gesicki goes somewhere really well, somebody might try to reach and get him, because TJ Hawkinson is that kind of right now boring tight end that is not producing amazing numbers. He's not going to produce over 1,000 yards in a receiving season, and so that's a problem, which means you may be able to get him at a discount. My number 3, and this is where there's kind of these are my 3. Like if you said 24 or under, these are the 3 guys. Number 3 is going to be Pat Freiermuth. I love Pat Freiermuth. He reminded me so much of a kind of a Gesicki-ish, but not as athletic. He had like this combination, and I told everyone this in the draft profile, and that was in the draft profile, that he had the mixture of Kelsey. He wasn't as great as Kelsey, and he had this mixture of Gesicki, but he was kind of like mashed in, kind of in between. Like he wasn't he wasn't Gesicki, and he wasn't Kelsey. He was kind of this mixture of in between, and Pat Freiermuth has just shown 13th in standard, 13th in PPR. He played 16 games, but Eric Ebron was a huge problem in the beginning. And let's go in the beginning of what his yards were: 24, 36, 22, 11, and 7. And week 6 things started changing. He had 58, 44, 43, 31, 11, 40, 26, 32, 37, 22. So his yardage is kind of concerning, but he did have 7 touchdowns. He was a red zone terror. In fact, in a kind of that middle part of the season when he was healthy and not dealing with concussions, he had 1-2-0-1-1-0-1, and so that is the big thing. Is he is a touchdown target machine. And really, if you watch him play overall, I believe in his talent. He's only 23 years old. He's 6'5", 258 pounds, from Penn State. Penn State loves to produce their tight ends, and they produce good tight ends. And I love Pat Freiermuth for his talent, his ability, and potentially the dump down. Like, yeah, you're going to have some issues with that offense potentially scoring at a high level. So maybe 7 goes down, but I can easily see where he ends up getting that 700-800 yards and 7 touchdowns. He can stay maybe the same around touchdowns just because he didn't really perform in that first 5 weeks. Like, he had almost no touchdowns, no yards basically in that first 5 weeks. So, and he was a rookie. We have to give a little bit of leniencies on these rookies here. So that's where I have Pat Freiermuth as my 3rd Dynasty Cornerstone tight end. And right now, I'm not really trading Pat Freiermuth. I'm actually trying to go acquire him if somebody is in need. So I am easily paying, he was a mid-second probably last year, mid to late second for a lot of leagues. And I would easily pay an early second. And if I'm a tight end desperate team, I'll pay that late end first for Pat Freiermuth. And then the last one, and this is only because it's hard to find a tight end that's A, underneath the age of 24 or younger, and B, to find a tight end that really kind of produces at the tight end 1 level. This is going to be the most frustrating, probably, tight end cornerstone ever. It's Noah Fant. He's 6'4", 249, out of Iowa. He was supposed to be Hawkinson, him and Hawkinson were supposed to be these 2 amazing tight ends kind of coming out of college. And really, Fant being 24 is kind of actually surprising, but I feel like he's been in the league forever, at least 4 or 5 years. But he's only been in the league 3 years, 566 or 562, 673, 670, 334 for touchdowns. So not any amount of touchdowns that you really write home about. 12 in PPR, 12 in standard. So he's just on that end borderline of the tight end 1. With no quarterback for 3 years. I mean, you could just say he hasn't had a quarterback for 3 years. If Denver has to, and I said slash, has to get a quarterback for that team to really compete against the Chargers and compete against Kansas City, even to compete against, I almost said Oakland, but Las Vegas. They all 3 have quarterbacks that can be competent, and they don't have that at Denver, and they need that desperately. They're going to do it. And I say that, and so it's like my lock and load guaranteed of the offseason that they're going to get a quarterback. And so we'll see if that ends up happening. But I feel like that they have to get a quarterback. I feel like Miami has to get a running back in the draft, or Melvin Gordon or something along those lines. And we'll see if that happens. But those are like my 2 lock and loads guarantees: Miami getting a running back in the rookie draft, and Denver getting a quarterback, whether that's in the draft, a Kenny Pickett, or that is a trade. They go all in for Rodgers or Russell or Garoppolo might even be an option, which is not a great option, but it's something better than what they've had. And so 670 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm just seeing projecting the future and saying, okay, a 25, 26-year-old tight end the next 2 years, what do you think his jump can be? Like, is it a Dallas Goddard jump where maybe he gets into that top area? And I think that's an easy kind of projection there. I mean, we look at Dallas Goddard. He was 9th in standard, 11th in PPR. He missed a couple games, but he had 830 yards receiving. He only did have 4 touchdowns, which was a little bit of a problem, but I can see a jump maybe even a little bit higher for Fant if they have a competent quarterback. And Hurts is a running quarterback, and he's not even a touchdown throwing quarterback. And you can still see that Goddard was 9th in standard versus 12th, and a little bit higher in PPR. He only had 56 receptions and 76 targets, but we're looking for a jump. And so that's where, yes, if you said, would I rather have probably 7, 8 tight ends over Fant? Yes. But he's 24, and it looks to be positive regression ahead. For hopefully they have a competent quarterback, and it's got to happen. It's got to happen. All right, so again, this is Marcus Nice Simple Dads. DeAndre Swift, signed jersey. Free to one of you guys. We hit 2K. All right, peace out. Take care.